some people think that religion, Christianity, is meaningless, that they don't believe in it, they think it's stupid. But consider the fact that morality seems to come from religion. The Ten Commandments, you're not allowed to kill. I think people would want to be able to make a lecture in front of a lot of people without being shot or without being people going berserk. So I think that those parts of religion that we can agree that we like, that those parts were created, that the Ten Commandments exist and that the laws are based upon the Ten Commandments. As long as we can agree on that, then the superstition that we have some kind of soul that jumps out of the skull and floats out into the universe. That's if we can separate those things. And I don't believe in superstition like that. That there's some that there are different levels of reality, and that we can live in some kind of not physical reality, floating around in the universe. But as far as I have learned, the rainbows are to remind us of the heavenly kingdom. And if it's not superstition, then it's real, that it's a reflection from somewhere out there in the universe to remind us that we can go there if we have the brain capacity to find out how to get there. So that we can never get there if we don't do it. That could be a belief. That's what I believe. What else? It's Brian Greene and someone else who talked about this with very fine vocabulary, which made how retarded I think it was even clearer. Not that I don't think they are retarded. I think they know a lot more than I do about natural sciences. But he talked about metaphors and how people thought he put too much emphasis on metaphors. But that's also, if you think about the Bible and Jesus and how he analyzed through parables, I think it's called, and found hidden meaning in, or some alternative meaning in a story. That's what the education system is found based on, I think. It's all has to do with analyzing and finding meaning in something that it's not clear. It's not all that, hey, there's a cup and there's a light and there's a table, but there's a lot of analyzing, and that has to do with a bit of the same. It is metaphors, something that represents something else. So parables and equations, it's a bit, they are familiar, or they are related. And then if we think about concepts, how they were created by, for example, philosophers, they didn't exist. They had to make it all up. So I think, and then later on it turned into fortune cookies. Just something you say, you don't really think about how deep the thoughts were initially. And there's a tendency to forget about the past and think that we were born yesterday, all of us, and that it's always been like this. not thinking about how words changed meaning. Like Darwin, he decided with deliberation to do blah blah blah. It had to do with rock pigeons, and then later on you did it deliberately. It's a mean thing to do something with deliberation. Whereas early on it was a very good, it was something that had something sophisticated to do something with deliberation. But later on it's mean, it's evil to use your will, that it's always negative to do something deliberately. That's just an example of how words change meaning, and how it seems like people, I don't know if they do, if they just want to make people furious or to provoke people with retarded conversations, leaving out so many nuances of the conversation. And also this way, it's just bits and pieces. That much more to it. And, yeah.